in Melania Trump's biography. Politico reports today that there are some serious problems with the Trump family story about how Melania Trump came to this country. So serious that President Trump's first lady could be the kind of person he hates the most, an immigrant who worked in the United States illegally. It all started, as only a Trump family story could, with naked pictures in the New York Post on Monday. Melania Trump posed for the pictures in 1995, but the way she tells the story of her life now, she first arrived in the United States a year later, in 1996.
I grew up in Slovenia, and I went to school there. I studied design and architecture, and then I moved to Milan and Paris to live there. And I had a successful modeling career. I came to New York 1996.
So the question now is, what kind of visa did Melania Trump have when she began working in the United States? Was it legal for Mrs. Trump to work here, or was she part of the great wave of illegal immigration that produces illegal workers, according to her husband, that are destroying America?
I follow the law. I follow a law the way it's supposed to be. I never thought to stay here without papers. I had visa. I travel every few months back to the country, to Slovenia, to stamp the visa. I came back. I applied for the green card. I applied for the citizenship later on after many years of green card. So I went by system. I went by the law. And you should do that.
Joining us now, Alex Isbell, an immigration attorney in Philadelphia, and Ben Schreckinger, a reporter at Politico covering national politics. Ben, one of the blurry parts of this story is that when we hear Melania Trump talk about it, she never specifies what kind of visa she had at the different stages of her American experience.
That's right. And from the description we just heard from her, in which she was going back every few months to Europe to get a visa stamped, which is a description she's made of her experience more than once. That sounds like a B1 or a B2 visa, the kind of thing you'd get as a tourist or a business traveler, and the kind of thing that wouldn't permit you to work as a model.
And Ben, your story sort of spooked the Trump campaign into releasing a statement today about her history. They released it in her voice. It's in writing. It says, I have at all times been in full compliance with the immigration laws of this country, period. Any allegation to the contrary is simply untrue. But Alex Isbell, that statement, like everything else the Trumps have said about this, never refers to any specific kind of visa as she works her way along, eventually up to getting a green card before she married Donald Trump.
Exactly. So to date, the statements that the Trump campaign have made have been platitudes, very vague statements about compliance with immigration laws of this country and all applicable laws.
And so what the possibilities here, Alex, include that she came on a tourist visa or something like that. She started working on that visa, and that's why she was going home every 6 months or so she could keep that visa at least looking right in the passport. But at some point, she manages to get a green card. How would you pole vault from a tourist visa to a green card, or what kind of other visas do you think she would have obtained along the way?
Sure. I think that the idea that she was modeling in the United States using a B2 visitor's visa or a B1 business visa based on her trips to get the visa renewed, that would have been at an airport, not actually in Slovenia. But I think that she, in all likelihood, was using a B2 to act as a model in the United States. In terms of pole vaulting or transitioning out of her status as a visitor to someone with a green card, of course, this is speculation. I haven't seen her file, and I don't know much about her personally, but I would suspect that she received something called an EB1 green card for a person of extraordinary ability. Certainly her modeling career, about the time she would have gotten a green card, which based on her naturalization date, would have been in 2001. That was really when she was at the height of her modeling career. You had the Harper's Bazaar spread, you had her in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, and those are the kind of achievements that would enable someone to qualify, at least present a colorable case for an EB-1 extraordinary ability green card.
Alex, is it possible that that EB-1 would have been the first legal work document that she had to work in the United States?
Someone who has a traditional bread and butter work visa, which is called an H-1B, it does include models of sustained acclaim. But someone who has a proper work visa doesn't need to be traveling out of the United States every couple of months, to use Mrs. Trump's own words, to get a visa stamp to renew their status. If you have a work visa, you could remain in the United States for up to 3 years without having to do anything with immigration, and potentially much longer without ever having to travel outside of the United States.
Ben Schreckinger, another problem for the Trump campaign here is that Donald Trump has come out against H-1B visas. He said he would end forever the use of H-1B visas, and it may be that that was one of the visas that his wife used to legally work in this country.
That's right. The Italian businessman and associate of Donald Trump, who was Melania's agent at the time, has now said that she got an H-1B in 1996. And if you look at for example, Melania's statement today, she refers to reporting about her immigration status in 1996. The problem is what was happening before 1996. It appears she was in the country in 1995 modeling.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there for tonight. Alex Isbell and Ben Schreckinger, thank you both very much for joining us.